Hello and welcome to Turtle Tracks Podcast. This is your host, Brian VanHooker, and I'm here with Ralph DiBernardo, welcoming him back to the podcast, a guy who is a pretty integral part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle history, and he's got a cool event coming up. Ralph, thanks so much for being on again. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You know, Ralph, before we get into what's going on for Free Comic Book Day, I would love for you to give people a little bit of insight about what Portsmouth Mini-Con 1984 was.
Sure, absolutely. So before the Turtles, Kevin and Peter were friends of mine. They shopped at my flea market table for new comic books back in the early 1980s. One day they showed up at the flea market with this crazy comic book, and they asked if I could help, if I would buy some so they could pay back their uncle. So I was like, sure, I'll buy 500 of them. And then a couple months later, I was having a convention in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It was going to be the first comic book convention in New Hampshire. And those guys took out a full page ad in what was then the premier comic book newspaper called the Comics Buyer's Guide. And they bought a table at my show, and that's where they actually premiered the comic book for the world. Prior to that, they just kind of been selling them by hand around town.
Let me tell you that that's obviously not a very important part of turtle history, and you recreated that 40 years later at Portsmouth Mini-Con. I think you called it Portsmouth Mini-Con 40, I think, back in 2024, which is an event I went to and I've been to a bunch of turtle cons and things like that. This was the single most special turtle event I've ever been to in my life. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. I mean, that is absolutely what I was going for. I wanted to bring all my friends back together, and over time, I became friends with a lot of the other core guys from the Turtles, and then met a lot of the newer creators. And I was really just throwing a big party and needed to figure out how I could write it off with my business.
Yeah, Kevin was there, Peter was there, artists from like every era were there, like Ken Matroni was there, people from early days of Mirage, like Paul Jenkins. It was just a great mix of artists and fans. It was like intimate in the best way. It was so much fun. I loved being there.
Yep, and that's the intimacy is exactly what we wanted to create. And I hear it all the time that like we nailed it. We knocked the ball out of the park. I know we had some problems with it, especially with trying to regulate Peter's line, because obviously everybody wanted to see Peter Laird and get a signature. But even Peter had such a good time. He was there. He was only going to be there on the first day, and he had so much fun. He came back for the second day, which just meant the world to me.
I remember everybody was shocked when he came the second day, yourself included. I remember that.
Yep, absolutely. It was crazy.
Now, so let's talk. So, now tell me about Jetpack Comics. When did you open Jetpack? How long has it been in business? Tell me about that.
Sure. So this is our 20th year in business. Prior to owning Jetpack, I worked for a comic shop about 20 miles north of here. They got priced out of their location. And so I just was like, well, do you mind if I take the mailing list and see what I can do with it? So I went a little bit south and found an inexpensive rent and just worked like crazy to build what we have today.
And what town are you located in? What's the address there?
We're in Rochester, New Hampshire. We're right on North Main Street, right in the center of downtown.
I've been there many times. Every time I go upstate, I go up there about once a year, usually for Granite Con. I always make a point to stop by Jetpack, which is a great comic shop. So,
Thank you so much.
oh, of course. Well, and then coming up on May 2nd is Free Comic Book Day, and you've turned it into like a murderer's row of turtle guests. Can you talk about who's coming?
Well, sure, but actually, let me just start by explaining our free comic book day because
Please,
it's
yeah,
not
please go for
like
it.
a normal free comic book day.
Right.
So, like most comic shops on free comic book day, they open their doors. You can go in and get a free comic book or two or six or whatever. And that's pretty much the event. They might host some guests and have sales and things. But when I first opened my business, I was very insulated from the downtown. I wasn't in the location I am now. And I was looking to build the business and also see if I could share my customers with the businesses around me. So after my first 2 years, I decided we were going to treat Free Comic Book Day like a scavenger hunt. So I invited downtown businesses to be a part of it, where they just pay my cost for the free comic books, which, by the way, Free Comic Book Day costs money for every comic book shop. It's not free for them. It's only free for the consumers. Um, and immediately had 15 businesses get on board with it. So we started a scavenger hunt. You come, you get a map, you go from business to business and pick up a free comic book. And then we just kind of built from there so that we added an event hall, which is like kind of like a mini Comic Con. Um, and that brought us up till 3 years ago, where the thing is so big it encompasses about 1.5 square miles of our downtown. Um, you will come, you will leave with a minimum of 2 dozen comic books, and we just so with the creator aspect of it, we just kept bringing in more and more guests. And I decided this year I really wanted to nail the turtle aspect of it because I haven't seen a lot of these guys in a long time. So it was like, well, how do I get them here? And then I wanted to get in guys that couldn't make it to Portsmouth Mini-Con 40. So like this year we have guys coming from Mexico, Brazil. I'm so excited to have Tom Waltz. Like I've been trying to get Tom here for years, and he's on board with it. It's just going to be a great time. It's going to be so big this year that we had to add a second event hall. So we've got one place we're calling the Turtle Den, which is just going to be focused on turtle guests and turtle vendors. And then we took the Rochester Opera House and turned that into a second venue with more vendors, more guests.
Goodness, that's amazing. Now, I mean, speaking of Tom Waltz, Tom Waltz is the writer of the IDW, the first 100 issues of the IDW comics, and I've gotten to know him over the past few years. Just a hell of a guy. He's the best. He really is just a great guy.
I'm so excited to have him come. I've met him at GraniteCon actually.
Hmm.
Um, and we just could never make it work out to get him here. And this year he's on board and he's writing Null for Marvel, which that just opens up the interest in him even more from Turtles to mainstream Marvel stuff. It's gonna be such a good time.
He did some Wolverine stories too. He's been doing some great stuff for Marvel.
Yes, yep.
And let's see who else you got here. I see Steve Levine, who is always a joy to be around. Steve Levine, one of the classic turtle artists from the Mirage days. He's
That
coming.
he's like a rock star in the comic industry.
Yeah.
He reminds me of oh shoot, not Jim Starlin. He reminds me of Jim Steranko. Like when I see Steve and he's vibrant, he's boisterous, and he's always dressed up. And that's how I always saw Steranko at conventions.
The also Jim Lawson, who is
Yep.
another Mirage staple. There a lot of his comics should be probably. I mean, like I'm guessing there's been some interest because of the reprinting of Volume 4, which was the volume that Peter did with him back in the early 2000s.
Yep.
You guys had some exclusive covers for that too, right?
I actually contracted to do the entire run. So we're gonna do all 32 issues and fingers crossed we're gonna get a little bit beyond 32.
Ooh, okay. Let's hope so. And some guys coming from Mexico. So I saw Mateus Santaluco, the great artist from the IDW. Also Luis Antonio Delgado, who is a colorist and a hell of a good guy. Faro Pay. There's just a lot of I was shocked that all these people are coming from Mexico. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a weird culture shock for them to end up in little podunk Rochester, New Hampshire.
I was probably most surprised though to see that AC Farley's going to be there because he doesn't do a ton of stuff convention wise, and man, is he like a fan favorite turtle artist.
Absolutely. I'm lucky in that I developed a relationship with AC over the years. He's wanted to come up before, but there were just reasons he couldn't do it. And so this one, he's down for it. He's excited to be a part of it. I can't wait to see what he brings with him. I'm dying to get a piece of original art from him.
Oh, his work is so detailed and beautiful. Like I got a chance to. It's funny. I interviewed him last year, and it's funny. His interview has become like my most listened to episode ever. And I've gotten to know him a little bit. Like he and I went to when the 35th anniversary of the first Turtle movie came out. He and I happened to be up in New England, and he and I went to the movie together, and I got to know him over dinner a little bit. Just such an interesting guy. He's so great.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this is for me. This is all just personal for me. Like I want to meet all these guys, so
Sure.
that's why I'm bringing them in.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Ben Bishop too, who's like just one of the best, most talented modern turtle artists. He's great.
Yep, and definitely a turtle staple, like
Oh yeah,
especially Last Ronin. Oh man.
yeah. His work in Last Ronin has been incredible.
Yep.
I hope I'm not leaving anybody out turtle wise. There's a bunch of other artists too. I mean, yeah, Chris Vance, Corey Smith, Jeff Klein. Eric Talbot's coming. That's
Uh,
amazing.
yep. But a lot of these guys are, a lot of those guys, the classic guys, come every year for Free Comic Book Day for us.
Yeah,
They're relatively local, and I count every one of them as close friends. So that's for them. This is really just more of a chance for us to all hang out and have dinner and have fun, and maybe make some cash on the side.
so if people want to come to this event, um, Rochester, New Hampshire, how early should they get there?
Okay, so we got a couple different things going on. On Friday the 1st, we're doing a cocktail party reception at a hall just across the street from my store in downtown Rochester. It's called the Rochester Performance and Arts Center.
Okay.
Um, Basically, if you buy a VIP wristband for $10, you can go to that event. That money is not for me or for Jetpack Comics. That money goes to support the scholarships that the Performance and Arts Center gives out to kids that want to do music lessons or acting lessons but can't afford it. So I don't want anybody thinking that we're trying to rake people over the coals. It's $10 for a good cause.
That's amazing.
So if you come to that on Friday night. That'll go from like 5 to 9. We'll do a few panels, but it's really just a chance to get in, meet the creators, hang out, and just have fun. On Saturday morning, if you have a VIP wristband, you can get into Jetpack Comics at 9 o'clock and come and get all your free comic books there, grab a map, and head out around town. The event halls open at 10, and I'm expecting there will be a crazy line at the Turtle Den. We normally have 40 to 50 tables in that hall, but we cut it down to 25 because I know the volume of people are just gonna be overwhelming in there.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And then that all goes on until 4 o'clock. So you can come meet all the turtle guests. You can head over to the other hall. You can meet Paul Pelletier will be there. We just got commissioned him for a cover for one of our issues of Journeys. Um, I think the most impressive guest we have, who is actually local to us for that hall, is Jeremy Robinson. He just released a book called Nectar
Okay.
through Vault, which went ballistic. He's got a second book dropping pretty soon called Excommunicated. Uh, Jeremy is an author by trade, but he's also a huge comic book fan. So he worked with Vault to create this new imprint based on his work. And it's just exploded. Like if you look at the prices of the first printings of the first issue of Nectar, they're through the roof. So it's super exciting to have somebody local hit that level of success having been a part of that first level of success with the Turtles.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not familiar. I'll check that out. That sounds awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's a novelist, and when he drops a new book, he's always #1 on Amazon. It's crazy, and he just lives in Rochester, New Hampshire, and most people around here never knew who he was. He's been at every free comic book day we've done, but with the release of this comic book that he did, he's gotten crazy popular.
Do we know what the offerings are for the comic book day this year? I don't know how early they announced those. I'm.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we have them all listed on our website.
Oh, cool. Okay.
There's unfortunately, I was a little bummed there was no turtle book this year because that's
Oh,
always
right. Yeah.
that's always the best one for us. But we are excited. This year is Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh,
The
yeah. Okay.
first issue of that comic is coming out, and I think that's going to be the one that everybody wants to grab. I expect that to become a money book real fast.
Ralph, is there anything else on the horizon we should know about from you or Jetpack?
I mean, really, that covers it. Like I said, keep an eye on our Journeys covers.
Yeah.
We're doing every single issue. We did have an AC Farley cover. That was fun.
I have a copy of that. It's great. It's such a great cover.
Oh, he did such a good
The
job on it.
Utrom one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm super excited for the Paul Pelletier cover. Like when I mentioned that name to the guys at IDW, they lost their minds. They were like, "That's the guy we grew up with. That's so awesome." So, and other than that, I am just looking forward to a few days off after this.
I'm sure. Yeah. It feels like it's amazing to me that this is all happening in the same day, or I guess the night before in the same day. But still, that sounds like a hell of a busy day.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be a busy week for me for sure.
Sure. What's the website for Jetpack?
Jetpackcomics.com.
And you can also
One
follow
word.
on Instagram. It's Jetpack Comics. Ralph, thank you again. I'm always honored to talk to you, and I really this event sounds really great, and I think Turtle fans in the Northeast should go check it out because it'll be a hell of an event.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thanks, Ralph. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
There's a power in the feeling, a power in the sound. It's rising up from the underground.